Well, FreshBaked, it's only been a couple of days since the news of the annual pass program broke that Disney is canceling the annual pass program for Disneyland. But even though it's only been a couple of days, there are still lots of questions, new questions, misunderstandings, and today there's even a new variable thrown into the conversation. Mice Chat put out a podcast talking about the annual pass program. And that podcast is actually what I'd like to address. I don't know, debunk might be the right word. I'm not sure. In that podcast, he mentioned that Ken Potrock, the president of Disney, said the reason why they hadn't announced a new program in conjunction with the sunsetting of the current annual pass program is because they wanted to hear from their guests first. They wanted to hear what people wanted from a program like this at Disneyland before just putting out what they want, which is justifiable. They've got time to do this because we're not opening the park anytime soon anyway, so there really is no rush for them to come out and say, we're going to now replace the annual pass program with Plan 2. That's the basis for the comments that came from Mice Chat, and I didn't want anybody to confuse what they were suggesting as something that was like a rumor. This what Dusty Sage talked about was what he wanted from, as if he were the guest being, questioned by Disney. What did he want from an annual pass program? And what he mentioned was something like the Magic Kingdom Club, which was something that they had initiated early on in Disneyland's history in the 50s and 60s. Now, I'm going to try to paraphrase what Dusty said in terms of what the Magic Kingdom Club was, but you get a membership card. And it allowed you to have access to, merchandise perhaps, discounts in the park, a monthly magazine. That doesn't sound very attractive to me, and nor would think it would be attractive to anybody in terms of super good benefits. That's more like, it's not much. Now, he suggested to amplify the Magic Kingdom Club membership. That's a word that Disney used in their announcement was membership as opposed to the annual pass program. So I'll give them this. Membership that would get you discounted tickets. If you were, let's say, pay into the membership program, you have access to discounted tickets, exclusive merchandise. And I think Dusty mentioned something like Bring a Friend Day. And then maybe additional benefits depending on how often you go. Maybe you could, if you went a certain enough times, maybe you get an extra day's ticket or something like that. Sounds lovely. Now, I am here to say I don't think that that's in any way possible. I don't believe that is what's going to happen, not at all. If you need any indication about whether or not these opinions are based in reality, you need only look at the fact that he suggested that this type of program may eventually possibly lead to Disney lowering ticket prices, which is the idea of that, I can't even process. Disney is not going to lower their prices. Not ever. Now, if Disney were to ask me what I want the same thing we had before. The number one benefit of owning an annual pass for anyone was the ability to go to Disneyland at your leisure. And that is the only benefit that I'm interested in. You can throw me all kinds of other AP days and 20% off of food and 20% off of merchandise. You can throw all that at me if you want. You can throw free photo pass at me if you want. You can throw free Max Pass at me if you want. The number one thing that me and I would suggest a significant majority of annual pass holders want from an annual pass is the ability to go at our leisure. And I don't really think that that's lost on Disney. I really don't. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Disney wants. What Disney wants is guaranteed revenue. What Disney wants is predictable revenue. And this has always been the case. This is the reason why you have an annual pass program to begin with. It's the reason why it was invented. It's the reason why they've grown it year after year after year. It's the reason why people suggest the Flex Pass was brought in order to decrease the power of the annual pass. I disagree with that notion at all. I think it was just another way to bring in more pass holders. It created a larger pass holder base. They got to have all of their premieres and the signatures and all that, plus the new FlexPass customers. Now, some of the signature type customers may have transitioned to the FlexPass, which is going to happen. But make no mistake, that was designed to bring in more annual pass holders, not to limit the annual pass holders. And this is not a Disney concept. This is a business concept. Any business, as I mentioned in our live stream last Thursday, any business that is in business and has the ability to offer something like that, a membership program, an annual pass program like Disneyland, is going to offer it if they could. A monthly gym membership. The gym wants you to pay month to month. They don't want you to pay per visit. If you paid per visit, you wouldn't go to the gym. The reason why you go to the gym is because you're paying a monthly visit or a monthly membership fee. Same thing for Disneyland. As a matter of fact, Dusty mentioned that as he said that some Disney fans, Disney guests, annual pass holders go to the park more, annual pass holders that is, annual pass holders go to the park more than they would normally because they're trying to justify the expense of the annual pass. True statement, but he said it as if it were a negative thing in Disney's eyes. And I promise you, that is not a negative thing in Disney's eyes. They want you to go more than you would have normally, even if it's at the cost of doing a monthly fee, a monthly membership, as opposed to buying a ticket per ticket. Just like at a gym membership, if you didn't have an annual pass, how often would you be going to the park? Once, twice a year, if that? If you have an annual pass, how many times are you going to the park? 10? 15? Who knows? And you're probably going to spend money every single time you go. Maybe not as much as you would if you were going just that one time, but in an accumulation of purchases is going to add up to at least approach that number. I promise there is no chance that Disney doesn't want annual pass holders. The idea that they're trying to do this in order to decrease attendance is they don't want that. Nobody who goes into business, conducts business, does so in order to sell less of anything that they're offering. They're not trying to sell fewer passes. They're trying to sell more passes. They're trying to sell more tickets. They're trying to sell more food. They mentioned that the constant price increases were an effort to decrease the number of ticket or purchases made, annual passes sold. I disagree. They've been doing this for years, every year, and they have been doing it because of supply and demand. The ticket prices increases are a result, a product of supply and demand, and that's all there is. They're not trying to sell fewer tickets. They want the park at peak capacity as much and forever as long as possible. That's a promise. I know what the argument might be that you have a better customer experience when the park is less crowded. That's a true statement. It's better for me and it's better for you. The people, especially for those who are going only once or twice a year, they don't like that it's super crowded. But that's not how business works. They don't want you to be comfortable in the sense that an individual, if you catch my drift, they just want to sell tickets. And they want you to be comfortable. They want you to have a good time. But they're not going to sell fewer tickets because the park is too crowded. They're just not going to do that. Now, I will say at this point, I'm not sure who I'm addressing this little monologue to. I'm assuming, I guess, annual pass holders, to comfort them, I guess, to know that there is, I do believe, it may be a little while still. It's not going to happen right away. They're not going to open the parks up and have an annual pass program. I don't think so. They might have something like what Dusty's suggesting, initially a membership program in order to make people feel part of something while we're into this restricted capacities type situation. But there is no chance, I'm saying there's no chance that that's going to be a permanent situation. They are not going to permanently cancel annual passes. You will be able to buy an annual pass. Who knows when? Maybe 6 months after the park opens, a year, I don't know. And it probably will be a flex pass system. That's the reason why they ended the program when they did, was so that they can retool it and get rid of some of those passes that maybe have too much ability. Unfortunately for guys like me, that may be a thing. I would be willing to agree that there's a flex pass only annual pass with maybe different tiers in terms of how many you could have at one time, or in terms of how many reservations you can make per month or something like that. but there will be an annual pass program. It's just too valuable for business. Hopefully, I haven't upset the infrequent visitor, the once a year type visitor. Hopefully, I haven't upset you by saying this. But then again, you've probably already been upset because of the status quo that's been the case at Disneyland for many, many years, and the fact that it's populated by 1 million annual pass holders. There are 1 million, from what I understand. Not that they're all going to show up at the same time. Most of those are empty annual passes. They don't go nearly enough. They go as often as you do. People just get them because they're fun to have and then not use it, which is exactly the purpose of an annual pass program, is for you to buy one and then not use it. That's the ideal situation. That's the ideal scenario for Disney or for any company or any business that does something like that. And I guess I'll conclude this little monologue by saying that I don't know, this any more than Mice Chat knows that they're going to have a membership program. These are both just opinions. We have no idea what Disney's up to, but I guess we're going to find out. Not right away, but like I said, in about a year. Let us know your thoughts, FreshBaked. I want to hear your thoughts on that. If this discussion upsets you further or consoled you at all, I don't even know if I'm right, but these are just my thoughts and opinions. So stay tuned for more, I guess. FreshBaked will be back. Actually, we're going to be back maybe tomorrow. We got a video coming tomorrow, hopefully, we were at Downtown Disney this weekend with a special guest. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. FreshBaked.